Hello, my peeps, she says with a very high question at the end. YouTube is just lagging today. I did the same thing last time, so I don't actually know if I'm live or not. That's the truth of it. I don't even know. But I really would like to get some comments going. I don't know if anybody's there. I know I need to set up some reminders or like schedule the reminders. So every Wednesday and every Friday they go early saying, remember tonight, remember lunchtime. But I only ever think of it when I'm about to go live. And then by then I'm usually like, okay, have I got everything? And so I don't stop to do it. And then afterwards I'm like, okay. And then I try to clean off and move to the next thing. And I need to remember at the right time when I can actually stop and do what I'm doing and do them. Well, giving you sneak peeks there. Hi, look at my monthly disc. Okay, seriously. Spooling, spooling, spooling. Keep that YouTube spooling. I can think of another word instead of rawhide. Anybody recognize that song from a, I don't know, 1950s Western? I gotta tell you, the beginning of these videos, it must just be so much fun. Okay, I finally have a screen, which I think means we're finally live. Have I been rambling the whole time waiting for it to show up as live? Yes. Have you heard that? I don't know. Why won't my comments show up though? Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I have no comments. I don't have any comments. There's the chat. Honestly, I really should take the time to learn better how to troubleshoot things. I know how to get on them now, at least, and I can usually do that. But if it doesn't work, then I'm just like, what? Okay. All right. Well, I would love to know if anybody's out there and listening, and if you heard all the rambling or if it just now came live, because honestly, it took forever. I started it early. It took 3.5 minutes for it to actually show up as being on. And I just keep getting, okay. I now have comments, or I have the comment box at least. Okay. I'm sorry for the gong show. And I would like to say it's going to get better. And I'm optimistic it's going to get better. How quickly is it going to get better? One never knows. I realize I don't need every one of these tools out for what I'm showing you guys, so maybe we could put a little bit of it away. Again, I have the second camera, the face camera. You can see my hands turned off because it's not in sync with this one, and it distracts me. And Lord knows I am easily distracted. And I used to be able to stream to Facebook, and it won't let me lately. So I'm going to keep going YouTube, and I mean, hopefully, if I could ever figure it out, I'll go to both places at once. But it's just, I don't know. It's got something to do, I think, with the OBS software. And my IT department, who is 15 years old and lives in the basement, every time I ask him to help me fix it, because he's the one who set up all the OBS, he's like, I don't know about Facebook. That's just for old people. So I will eventually get to what I was going to show you, but I will digress slightly. We were going to the chiropractor the other day, and it's down in Old Strathcona, and we're stuck at a light. And so he's looking around, and they've built some buildings down there, and they have keystones on them. So above the front doors, there's the right into the stone or the brick or the whatever is the date the building was built. And so my son asked me if that was, did they do that afterwards, or how did they add that on? And I said, well, no, those are keystones. They do that. I said, they've been doing that for, like in the 1800s and the 1700s, you'll see somewhere, they're not always right above the door, but somewhere in there, they will have carved the date the building was built. And he said, oh, I didn't know if that was like new and they just did it that way. And I said, no, those buildings aren't very old. And so I confused him, because he said, but I thought you said that was from when they built it. And I said, it is. I said, but it was built in 1991. He goes, I know, those are old buildings. I'm like, no, they're not. So it's all relative, I guess, because yeah, to me, 1991, not old. 1891, old. But I guess to a 15-year-old, 1991 is the old building. So anyway, that was fun. Nonetheless, so Fridays, my idea was to showcase a product. And there's so many good ones, and just to play with it and show you some things. Well, this took a turn, and I will tell you why. So lots and lots of talk lately about the catalog, right? New catalogs, the old ones go and things are retiring. You can't say goodbye, but you know there's new stuff and it's just, oh, the drama. So lots of catalog. But something Stampin' Up! Introduced. What did I do with my little piece of paper? Darn it. Oh, there it is. Because I forgot what month they did it. Okay, March was the first one. And they now have some online exclusives, which means they don't show up in any catalog. They just show up on the online store, like on the online website. You can see them and you can order them, and you can tell me you want them and I can order them for you. And like, it's just, they just don't show up in a catalog. And it gives them a bit more flexibility and stuff. I've explained that before, so whatever. We'll get to the fun stuff. So there's lots of cool things. And I bought some of them. And one of the ones that I bought was this bundle called the Tropical Leaf Bundle. And I bought it for two reasons. I love the shape of this punch. And I see it as a leaf. But I thought, I wonder what other things this thing could be. And that's what I always do. I'm like, and I thought I can see it as a flame. Like if you put little different colors in it, I could almost see it as a campfire. I don't know. But I love this leaf. Like this leaf just, I don't know, makes me happy. So I love this leaf. So that was part of it. This is the stamp set though. And look at that font. Ooh, love it. And I mean, those are three good sentiments. Hello, love you lots. Thank you so much. And honestly, if you wanted a shorter sentiment, you could just do love you. And then the little X and O's, they could be on the background, they could be on the inside. Anyways, so I thought this is awesome. I also, when I saw this, they're supposed to be the stems for the leaves. And I thought, all right. But I thought, wouldn't it be cool to use this just as a pattern across the page, right? So I had all these ideas. The first card that came to mind is actually the card that I made. And then all these other ideas I had for other things to do went by the wayside. And I'll show you why. So that was the first step, right? That was what it was going to be. But then when the new catalog came out, and yes. Oh, wait, before I go any further, because then I can move this piece of paper out of the way. Okay, so for those of you, I said, I put things out so I remember. It just sometimes takes me a minute to remember. So when you go to the Stampin' Up! Website, which is very easy, stampinup.ca, that's very easy. I could read that. Oh, no, camera's not going to cooperate today. All right, one of these days I'll master it. Okay, so when you go to the website, and I guess you're watching for somewhere other than Canada, so ours is stampinup.ca. In the States, it's stampinup.com. In Europe, I think it's stampinup.eu. It's stampinup.au in Australia. I think there might be another couple in there. Anyways, it's very easy. But for us, so you just go to stampinup.ca. Now, if you click on these three little bars, which I have heard referred to as a hamburger, and I'm sure there's an actual technical name for three little bars, it will drop down a menu. And on the menu, you will see the very first one on there is shop products. Now, if you're looking for certain things, you can just click on like the kits. I'm always looking on kits. So I go, doop, doop, and I'm in the kits. Because the kits, the Paper Pumpkin is a subscription, but the kit collection is also just an online thing. And it's been out for, I think we're going on 2 years now, at least with that kit collection, I think. And new ones come out, they used to come out just on occasion. Now they come out at basically on the first Tuesday of the month, anyone drops. But they don't show up in the catalogs either. They just show up online. So online exclusives have been actually around for a while, but now they're adding other products than kits. So anyways, you pick shop products, you click on this little arrow, and it drops down to a whole list. So you'll see there's one that's specific to online exclusives. Now it's currently about 3 pages long, and it is sorted, I have learned, by item number. So usually the newest item number, or the newest product, has the highest item number. So that'll be the first one that pops out. So this one is 161242. There was a bit of confusion when the first one came out, because one of the things they did is they brought back circle punches. Now, circle punches were from years and years and years ago. And the item number was, I don't know, 109, let's say. So the 109 showed up at the very end of the list because all of the kits have come out since then. And then these new products came out next. So when you're looking for something, unless if you know what it's called, you can just type it in the search. But otherwise, scroll all the way to the bottom, because at first people miss the punches. And there's 3 pages worth. Now there's a little bar on the left you can sort things through, but I like to just scroll and see what's new and see what I missed. So this was in the online exclusive, right? And I was all excited. I ordered this. I ordered the Hey Hello Irresistible bundle, which, oh my God, that is the prettiest stuff. I should use some stuff for a card class for that one. So that's where I got that. Now, again, yeah, it is a little obsessed with the new catalog coming out. My son, my IT department, maybe he can call himself Monkey IT, has been Monkey since birth, right? There's a little, it's varied in different things, but it's Monkey. So when I saw this, I was like, there's a monkey punch. And I got very excited. And this stamp set, super cute, little leaves, little things. I'm like, this is fun. So as much as I wanted to make the other card with that, after I saw this one, I was like, ooh, I can make a jungle with the big leaves and put the monkey in the jungle. So then that's where that's where the project morphed to. And then yesterday, I kept seeing this, this new card fold called the Pop-Up Vase kept showing up online. And I saw several pictures of it. And then my fearless leader, Tamara, did it as her class last night. And so instead of just seeing a picture, I got to actually see like live action. And I was like, oh, okay, the universe is telling me I have to try that. It keeps like putting it in front of me. I got to try it. So this is basically this mechanism. This was my practice one that makes this pop-up vase. And this is nothing like what the card is supposed to look like. I had a piece. This is the one I was using. I had it. So I was playing. I scratched things out. It was a little trial and error as I was doing it. But so this is what the card was. So then the card went from one to the other. And now I was, okay, I got to make that work. So it did morph into that. But in the process of going through all 3 of those stages, I found out a whole bunch of different things as I was going. So I thought, I'm going to have to make a better video showing you how to actually make the pop-up and the mechanism and do it properly. This is only supposed to be half an hour. It's supposed to be a quick, something to watch on your Friday lunch break, or taking a little minute on a Friday to, just get away from the everyday and watch a little bit about products and see some cool things. So I can't do all of that in half an hour. So I'm going to make a separate video, and I'm going to reinvigorate my blog, which I do not think I've posted in since, I don't know, sometime last fall or maybe last summer even, which will have lots of pictures and the little link to the video, and that'll be good. And that one I'm not going to make it for tomorrow's, because my blog's supposed to be a Saturday morning thing or a Sunday morning thing, but it'll be for next weekend. So it will be there. In the interim, you can Google pop-up vase card and see what you get. But if you'd like to see more about like the card I made and a couple little amendments I made to it to make it work better for what I wanted, then yeah, stand by for that. So I'm going to show you the 2 cards I ended up making, because through all of this, I did only end up making 2 cards. I didn't end up making all the other ones, but I will eventually. But yeah, I have things to show you as I go. So I have too many things on my desk right now, people. So this was the first card, and this is the one. There's the envelope. Did I forget the inside? Oh, I did. Oh, no, I didn't. There's the envelope. That's one of the things I'm going to show you. And so this was the card I envisioned to begin with. And I don't know if I can get it to the right angle. Okay, so I'm pausing as if you were like, ooh. And it's not everybody's style, but oh my goodness, do I love this card. So there we go. So one of the things I saw with that punch, and because of the shape of it, some punches are very cool. The monkey punch, super cool. And I haven't tried it yet, but because it's got so much edge to it, I'm not sure, like not all punches work to do this punch and background. So it almost looks like an embossing folder, right? But all I've done is actually punched out a bunch of pieces, and you can die cut pieces as well. But I punched out a bunch of pieces, and then you just kind of that's a technical term, and kind of place them all so that you can get as much coverage as you can on your background. Now, in this case, I did tone on tone on tone, which was the plan, and I really cannot get the right angle for you. When I take the picture, it will look better, I think, because I'll be able to get the right angle on it. And then, like I said, I love this font, and I thought I'll get a little creative with the stuff. I was sad. I thought these were carrying over, but they're not. And these tiny little flowers, oh my goodness, I love them. So you can't see the Calypso ones that I used. I have an open package somewhere, but I couldn't find it, so I actually had to take one out of this package before I even got to it. There's a row of Calypso, a row of yellow, the crushed curry, and then these 3 that you actually can see. But they're just the most adorable little flowers. They're nice and light. They don't bulk up your card a whole bunch. But so this is what I saw. A couple little flowers, these oversized leaves, and many, many of them with this big font. So I love this card. And then, yes, on the inside, XOXO. So that was the card I had seen. And as I was doing it, and I made the mistake on the first envelope, there we go, of, and I thought I did it because I don't always follow the rules. I rarely. But I'm gonna remind you again, because it really matters on a stamp like this, that the rule for photopolymer is to use a foam mat. These I think these are photopolymer as well. Yes, they are. Oh, they're all over my desk. I could have just looked all over my desk to find them. I gotta find one that isn't photopolymer. This one is not, I do not think. Yes. Okay. So this is the motorcycle set. I like to have my own names for everything. This is the motorcycle set, which is actually called Legendary Ride. And yes, it is carrying over. So this is one of the ones that is on, I don't need the biggest set in the thing, which is like the red rubber on foam, right? So because this has the foam on it, when you go to stamp and you push down, the foam has a bit of give in it, and you get a nice clean image. With the photopolymer, there is no foam, as you can see. So the beauty of that is they're way easier to see in place. And so you can do lots of fun techniques and the multiple stamping, and you'll see some of that on the card when I finally stop teasing you and show it to you. So that's the rule though, right? Put a foam underneath it because there's no foam on the stamp itself. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to do it the wrong way first. I'm going to show you why it matters and when it matters. And first, I'm just going to open 16 different things on my desk because that's how I roll. So I have noticed that with stamp sets, sentiments sets, you could pretty much get away, if it's a thin sentiment, you can pretty much get away with just stamping it. If it's a thick set, I should have got these things out ahead of time, but it's a good thing I slightly cleaned up because some of them are easier to find. So that's a very thin line set, right? This Biggest Wish also carrying over, and a fantastic set to have. I have it actually in English and in French because the community I live in has lots of French-speaking people. So these little ones will work fine, but these ones here are just thick enough that they need a foam mat too, or they don't stamp quite as clear. But for the most part, if you are just doing like a fine line sentiment, it will work. Now, if you're doing a solid stamp and you were doing it on the thing, oh, of course it works perfectly fine. But I did earlier today, it didn't. Here, I'll see if I can recreate what it normally looks like. This is normally what you get. There's always going to be, and they're not always this big. That was over exaggeration, but this is what I usually get. And I'll get, maybe it's only this much of it, but there'll be like solid, 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 and then there'll be one fuzzy patch in the middle of the blank. And it just drives you crazy. So with the foam mat underneath it, now we'll see, this will be the one that doesn't work. You get the clearer one. This is total fluke. I swear to God, every time I do like an image this big that's this solid without a mat, I get this. Today, no. I gotta do it this way now. So I will show you though with the sentiment, because now that I made that extra one in there, I don't have room for what I was really going to show you. So you'll notice on just on the fine line ones though, you don't really see a bigger difference, matte or no matte. But like I said, here let's just because I like to live on the edge. Oh my good Lord. Sometimes TV is just not your friend. Well, trust me when I tell you, that's fluke, and it never usually works that well. But thanks for working that way today. And I mean, normally you would want it to stamp well. Oh, here's today's lesson that was not planned. Close your stamp sets immediately after using them, especially if your desk is as messy as mine right now. Because if not, and this is not too bad, but if not, and you knock something over, you get ink on the envelope, or you get it on your hands and then you get it on everything. Okay. I've been talking so much this week, doing so many things. I feel my voice going. I'm going to need to pause for tea. Big reveal's coming. You just wait. I'm surprised I didn't choke. As soon as I started to drink, all I could think was, I hope they can't hear me like drinking my tea. Okay. Ooh, pretty envelope. Okay, so this is the second card that was made last night after deciding that one, I needed to add the monkey and make a jungle, and then seeing the pop-up and oh my goodness. And so this is what came to mind. So yeah, this is just a fun outside of the envelope. I leave it out though, because this is the beauty of photopolymer. You can see through them, so you can just stamp and not. I did make a little overlap here because I realized I started too far over and I was going to go off the card, but that was my mistake, not the fact that I couldn't see through the stamps. So it's beautiful that you can see through the stamps. I like to have little sneak peeks, but I like this monkey so much that he ended up on the back. So here's the card. Whoa! I know. I've amused myself so much. I hope you're slightly amused. I'm like overly amused, probably more amused than I should be. Okay, so you're looking at me now and you're saying, Tracy, there's no big leaves on there and there's no pop-up. You'd be correct. There's not on the front. So here's the thing. I had to make, well, one, I need to still make sure that this very thick card will fit in the envelope and go through the mail slot. But I also thought, well, this shows you the versatility of the stamp set, because all I did was stamp it all and then I just colored it. Why? Because versatility. And two, I love to color. I mean, I love to color. So I also thought, well, this will be fun because you won't expect the surprise on the inside because it's simple and cute on the outside. But I sometimes worry when I make big elaborate things that somebody will be like, I can't do that. I won't even try. Because you don't have to be big and elaborate. Look at how cute this dude is. Now, big and elaborate is fun. So here we go. Are we? I don't know why I feel the need to like drag it out and tease. Because you know what? She says that she drags it out more. It annoys the heck out of me when they do it on a show or something and they drag it out. And it's the reason I can't watch reality TV. Just they amp up the drama and they drag everything out. Okay, so here we go. Now you see how dude stands up, and my little monkey, I gotta go this way, I guess, is like hanging in the air. So there's the big jungle he comes out of. All of a sudden the dog just jumped up on my leg and is trying to get in on the action. He knows something fun's happening. Oh, please, honey, please don't knock all that stuff down. Oh, the landslide into my teacup, that would be bad. Sorry. So there we go. There's my, and you see as it closes, it goes flat. And as it opens, it pops out and the monkey's there. And then, okay, in my head, dude was throwing the monkeys to the other banana who was stockpiling them because then they were going to have a party later because they were so happy to see each other because they're bananas about each other. So there you go. So this was the little mechanism. And as complicated as it looks, it's not. You just got to figure it out the first time, make all the mistakes the first time. And then after that, it's like, easy peasy. I will tell you that, like I said, I had to do things my way. In the original plan, this little fold over piece is 3/8 of an inch, and it made it come just a little bit over onto my piece of white. That annoyed me. So I adjusted this piece slightly so that it wouldn't cover my little piece of white. It's not like you don't see that green there, but it doesn't bother me lining up with the edge. It bothered me overlapping. And then, yeah, I just went crazy with the jungle leaves. But these guys, oh, I'm trying not to get in the way of that other card. The card's in the background there. So much stuff on my desk. Anyway, it's a fun card and you can't help yourself. You have to build these durable and put a bunch of layers on them because once you do it once, you can't, like you hear it move. Oh, see, I just pulled too hard on that one. Oops. Oops, I pulled too hard and I pulled the little thing open. This was the problem with my my last fun fold that I made is I couldn't stop doing this So if you're going to do that with a card you don't plan to give to somebody, because you will wear it out before you even get there. I'll fix that later. Anyways, as I made this card, because I got to be cognizant of the time. I only have 6 more minutes. As I made this card, I noticed a couple things, and I thought that if nothing else, this is going to be the best reminder that I can give you. I started out, I'm going to make my monkey, right? So I have all these partially made monkeys now. So I went in and I took the brand new copper clay paper. Oops, there we go, which is so nice. And I punched out monkeys. And at first I noticed it on there, but it didn't sink in. You can sort of see it a little bit. It didn't sink in. And then I cut a strip. So here's a couple pointers. This is a builder punch, right? So it's got lots of different things on it. The lady and her dog just walked by, and let's hope that Rascal is quietly on guard today. Good boy. Good boy. Sometimes he lets them know that's his street. So here's the thing with the builder punch, though. If you go like this, look at all the bits and pieces you're going to get. So I'm just cutting the little face piece out of this color, which is this little dude there, which kind of looks to me also like an apple or a pumpkin. So I cut my card in strips instead. So I have less bits and pieces. You can't 100% avoid it. You could come in from this side with a thinner strip and it would work. But you're still going to get this little ear piece, right? It's also worth noting, if you're going to use a bigger piece and you don't care that you got little bits and pieces, don't stamp your face on the top of the card, because if you stamp the face here, I guess I'll show you the issue. Because guess what? Funny enough, I didn't put anything away. So I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to stamp Mr. Monkey right there. And then I decide, you know what? I'm going to punch out his face. That sounds way more violent than what I meant it to be. I'm going to punch out the shape of his face instead. But you see how you can't? Is you hit a limit with your paper. So even if you are using big pieces, make sure you stamp on the right side. And you always have to do that any punch you get. If you're going to stamp the banana and you're like, oh, perfect, I'm going to stamp the banana. We'll stamp the banana. If you stamp the banana on this side of the paper, then when you try to not punch out every possible thing, you're going to get everything in the way. Whereas if you stamp the banana on this paper, you could tuck it in this way and you're not using all of your paper up, right? But I guess the other thing I can show you is now that I've stamped or punched him, no paper wasted. I just punch him out like that and he's just as cute, just like that. Okay, so that's what I went to do yesterday. But here's the thing. Pulled the punch out of the wrapper, brand new punch, so excited, gonna play with the punch. Do you notice something on this piece of paper? I'm using my hand there because that usually helps it focus better. I can see it, but I know what I'm looking for. You see all around the edges, there's kind of like oil. And it was all over, I threw all the other pieces out, but it was all over the faces. Oh, it's not working. Of the pieces that I punched out as well. And so, like I said, I noticed it a bit on the thing, but it didn't really equate. You see on the very top of his head here? It's kind of oily. So it basically just looks wet. And it's all around the edges of all these pieces because I was like, punch, 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 punch. And then I went, oh, that's what it is. Now, I used the leaf stamp straight out of the bag as well. And I don't know if it's because this is a bigger open punch, so it's going to be easier to use. The ones that have a tendency to be, you got to push a little harder and you got to wiggle your paper a little maybe to get it out because it's our builder punches where they have so many different things on them. But the oil from the manufacturing process and the testing process of these punches was still on the punch. So it was making all of my paper oily. So do not spend a whole bunch of work and time stamping, and then take a brand new punch out to punch it. Because you might ruin everything you just stamped, unless you want that oily look. Now, it doesn't happen every time. Like I said, one punch had it, one punch did. But I did some Googling. And if you want to Google about a punch, oh my goodness, there are so many people who will tell you so many things you can do with a punch. And one of these times I'm going to do some like 101 videos for people to watch. So if you're a beginner stamper, you can learn some of this stuff. Just a minute. I have a call from a province, so that's generally not an important call, but my phone gets louder and louder as it rings. So, so yeah, I do plan to do some videos that show you like all the tips and tricks and stuff you can do. And I found a gazillion of those, but I couldn't find one like an official. Does Stampin' Up! Have a version of what they suggest? Because I don't know if you know, there's like you can put wax paper through, like punch out a wax paper if your stamp is sticky, and the wax will help kind of lubricate it without making it oily. You can punch tinfoil, which will help sharpen up the edges a bit if it's starting to dull on the edges. Like there's all these little tips and tricks. So here's what I figured out though, is if I take this is just a wet wipe. It could also be just a piece of wet paper towel. Now I'm not going to punch with this because I find that if I punch anything other than paper or like I said, wax paper, tinfoil, that's fine. But if I punch too much like photocopy paper or stuff like that, I find that it gets all gummy in the punch. Like it doesn't punch as clearly because it's not the good solid like paper that's meant for these. So I'm not actually going to punch this, but I set it on end because then I'm not trying to do too many things at once. And I just took my little wipe and I shimmied it all the way down like this. And then I squished. I'm not punching, I'm just squishing, right? And then I kind of slid it a bit one way, I slid it a bit the other way, and just kind of giving it like a couple punches as I went. And then, believe it or not, I air dried it, which was this. Oops, I make the whole camera shake. I just did this. I just let it air dry for a minute. And then what did I do with my paper? There it is. And I've already done this, so all the other pieces were fine. And then I just tested it, right? I went in and, it's a photopolymer. Let's see if I can stamp a monkey after I punch. Go to the garbage, all those little bits and pieces. And then I just tested it again. And I find it's easier to see on colored cardstock, but I have so many scraps and bits and pieces, and you don't have to punch out a full image. But now you see you get a nice clean edge. There's no little oil stains or anything like that. So that was my public service announcement for the day is, and this was, I hadn't stamped anything on these. I was just punching out the shapes. But still, I punched out all of that and went, darn it. Now I realize what I did, what's wrong. So that's what you want to do. So I think I flipped these over. You can't see the oil on here. I did keep the same dark monkeys. I just had to re-punch all the crumb cake pieces, but the copper clay was fine. So there's some tips and tricks for you. And I'm 2 minutes over, so I'm going to wrap it up now. But these were my fun cards. And so it is fun to have an idea, get started, and, 3 90-degree turns later, here we are. Simple card, fancy card, and the original card. Like I said, this will be, I will have a video for this, and it will be in my blog next weekend. I will post the link. I still haven't figured out how to send a quick message to if you just followed on YouTube, which I'm thinking maybe nobody does. I might see, and I'm doing the newsletter this week and the blog next week. So if it's not ready for today, I don't know. Somehow I'll find a way to post that link for other people that aren't on Facebook. But I will also post a link to Facebook when the blog is published, so you know how to find this card. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you do lots of stamping. I hope you are ready for my newsletter, because I stayed up late last night reworking, doing the numbers and double checking. And I had one of them totally wrong in my head. I was like I said, I was so tired on Wednesday. And when I said it's about the same price as the In Color Club to get the new colors, and I thought it can't be 5 months. There's 11 things, and it can't be the same price because there's 11 versus 5, and but there's less products. And anyway, so I made sure I was right, and I reworked all that stuff. And it is this similar in price, but it is over 11 months, not over 5 months. Unless you want to you get multiple months at once if you really wanted to. But so I reworked all that. So I have all that information in, because Tuesday's the big day. Tuesdays things go live, and I want to hit the ground running and get as much stuff for as many people as possible right away, because they've been doing so well, and people have been just loving the stamping and loving the new stuff. That's the stuff is going non-orderable very quickly and waiting for new stock to come in. So I want anybody who's, especially if you got plans for the summer to do a bunch of projects, I want you to have your stuff. So I'll get the newsletter out today, and then with math and things, and then I will work on this other stuff. So I will get the link to eventually, but I hope you have lots of fun with whatever you are crafting on, or if you are just shopping and making a list, or if you're just hanging out outside, because it seems like this weekend might be the last good weather before it gets hot. Yep, I'm the weirdo who doesn't like the heat. Even I look at next week's forecast of like 23, 25. I heard at one point 29, 30, and I'm like, I've enjoyed this last week, quite frankly. That's my sweet spot as far as weather goes. So inside, outside, enjoy your weekend, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me, and next time I'll try to be on time. Have a great one. Thanks, everyone.